Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. Today is Friday, August 8th, our very first Friday episode. So I have with me the other Marino and Alex. Dude, you hear about some new snacks to tell you about?
No. Am I going to like them?
No. And we'll find out why T.I.'s not with us. You got to hear this one. And we'll get into some of the preseason football breaking news. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow's good at football. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome into Friday. The first Friday episode ever, dude, of Sports Idiot Nation. Because we come to you now, not once, not twice. I feel like LeBron James. Not seven, we come to you 3 times. We go almost as much as Alex Marino goes. He goes like every freaking day. Of course, joined by Alex Marino, fantasy guru. Find him. The link is always in the description. Your one-stop shop. What I like about what Alex does is he is your one-stop shop for fantasy. If you follow Alex, you do not need to really follow much anybody else because he goes live all the time. He gives updates on what's going on throughout the season. So he's going to be hanging with us, of course, as always. And I got to start with why T.I. is not with us today because he was going to, and this is so like T.I. as I've gotten to know him over the last year, that he had some help with some cabinet. He was being he had a honeydew list, it sounds like. And he was doing his cabinets and like he went up too far, went all the way through, and he like, I have to get to the store before my wife finds out. So I don't think she watches because she's too intelligent for this kind of banter. So I think he's safe. But yeah, he's like, dude, he just texted me. He's like, just tell Alex my bad. So he is not with us, but we got plenty of football talk. We got plenty of stuff to talk through. I want to start with the famous pinky because, dude, the Colts. I live in Indiana and I hear all the Colts talk and all this, and like, if you don't, what is that? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0. Well, what if you have 2 crappy quarterbacks? Then you have like -2. Like, I feel like. So they throw Anthony Richardson out there and he looks terrible. And then someone want to tell him he's in a football game? Like, how do you not see a guy I get that there's a missed assignment. I get it's preseason. I get it. But bro, the guy, it's a big dude with a helmet and everything. He's not wearing the same color jersey as you. He just, oh God. And his pinky's going the other way. And Daniel Jones, all he does is come in and complete less than 50% of his passes. So the Colts are a mess, bro.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good for the Colts. And yeah, if you have Anthony Richardson, however many quarterbacks you have, you just count him as 0. And we were talking a little bit before the show, and I've never been a fan. One of the big reasons, because it was kind of a flash in the pan in college. It was just that 1 year. But everybody was so hyped up at the combine for everything that he could do except throw. No one ever mentioned his throwing.
Well, he could throw 87 yards, I think, or something crazy. And he did have one pass last year. We might have talked about it on this very program. There was one play last year, out of 97 bad ones, but one play where you're like, okay, I don't know a single human that can make that throw. Like, he was on his 13-yard line and he freaking threw it to the opposite 4-yard line for a touchdown. And you're looking around like, did you see that? Like, did I see what I just saw? But that was it. And okay, if that's like my cousin who can drive it 350 yards, but even if he's 100 yards away, that's what's the point? you know?
And how many times could he actually make that throw? Like, if he had to make that throw 20 times, how many times is he actually going to complete that pass? But that might be the only one, and he just happened to hit it on that time.
Yeah. And then you bring in like, just do you remember when you first heard that the Colts were, because he was with Minnesota first, and then the Colts got him for this 1-year deal, Daniel Jones, and you're like, oh, okay, like, is this a joke? Like, you have to consider the source. If it's from one of these NFL like fake sites, you're like, is this real? Why? Like, for what purpose? I just
And it's
don't
because Anthony
understand.
Richardson sucks. So now you got two guys who were
Yeah,
drafted top 10 in the NFL draft, and both of them are horrible.
good point. Good point. Did New York move up to grab that dude? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I
Or
think
did
they were just bad.
they were just yeah, they were just the New York Football Giants. They just drafted him. Yeah, because that's a good point. You forget that he was he what, out of North Carolina or something like that?
I can't
And
remember where he went.
and just like, okay, who's this guy? And the Giants get him, and they're pretty high on him. And he did have some decent moments, but good Lord, out of the whole span, just it's bad news. And so then the Colts get him, and you're like, okay, what?
Because he's good. He's good at everything that Richardson is great at. He's at least good at it. And like everything that Richardson's horrible at, he's like a step up. You know, it might not be a big step up, but it's a little step up.
Yeah. Well, he definitely should start. As you're the fantasy guru, I am assuming that both those quarterbacks will be available on all boards, on all draft boards.
If you play in a super flex league, which if you hang out with me, you know you'll evolve past the single QB leagues because we play in all types of leagues and more competitive, more spots, you know, just all types of stuff. But yeah, even in leagues like that where we have 12 teams and each team's going to be picking like 2 or 3 quarterbacks, those guys still might be on the waiver wire to where nobody wants either one of them.
Yeah, I don't understand. You go, 10 for 21. That's not, I don't know of any era of football that less than 50% is going to get it done. And these days, 60% is not like great, and this dude was at less than 50. I just don't understand what these Ursay girls are going to do. They are in for a rough go with their dad gone.
It needs to be all rushing. Whoever's out there, it needs to be like Jonathan Taylor plus like the quarterback's only throwing it 20 times a game and just figuring out a way to just design run it, for these guys.
So here's a couple things then, I think, for the Colts offense. A, they're not going to be able to run when you're down 10 double digits. And 2, when you do run in the first half, the team's going to know it's coming. You talk about loading up the box. Like, that's actually, side note, let's get into a quick side note. Next year, that's my reason for Frank Gore, first ballot Hall of Famer, because the 49ers offense for 8 years straight was terrible.
Yeah.
They loaded the box, and Frank Gore still ripped off 1,000-yard seasons, which is not easy to do when the team is terrible. Yeah. So that's my quick side note. I know I'm a homer, but
here's what I don't
two
like.
Other guys have more yards than him.
Here's what I don't like. Frank Gore is somehow discredited because he has so many yards because he played for so long, but he didn't have any like immaculate, seasons necessarily, but he played for so long. First off, nobody plays that long. And second off, how come guys like Tom Brady, he won Super Bowls, so no matter what, he would be up there. But let's say he didn't win Super Bowls. He wouldn't be discredited for having the most all-time passing yards or whatever. So I just don't understand the disrespect for longevity for a running back when very few running backs even have longevity.
Here's how I know I'm not just a homer, because I was talking to my 49er buddy the other day, and I was like, all right, let's trade Curtis Martin for Frank Gore and give him Frank Gore's number. So someone that I'm detached from. I really don't care about Curtis Martin. He's a fine human, right? But all right, if Curtis Martin was third in the league ever in rushing and played for 15, 16 years and whatever, rushed for all these yards and didn't have a ton of touchdowns, because that's the thing on Frank Gore. Okay, I would still say the person who has the third most rushing yards in NFL history, I still think if it was Curtis Martin, I would say, yeah, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. So
In a different position, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has 0 Super Bowls, and that no
Good point.
MVPs, nothing like that. If he's a Hall of Famer, like Frank Gore should easily be a Hall of Famer because both of their numbers are based on longevity, not like super peak seasons where they were like the best in a season ever. Like
Right,
number
right.
one at their position.
Right. His second or third year, Frank Gore did do really well. 9 touchdowns, like almost 1,300 yards. And then the rest were he was just steady Eddie. That had
And if
like
you play
at least
fantasy
1,100.
football, you love Frank Gore. Okay, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, he was never really hurt. He just played. He just would get you the fantasy points. And yeah, and I happened to be at his inauguration to the 49ers Hall of Fame. It was last year opening Monday Night Football against the Jets.
Nice.
With a minute's notice, they told us that CMC wasn't going to play. I freaked out because I didn't know. And it was at halftime, Vernon Davis introduced him, and he was like cussing and like, dude, like Frank the Tank, man. He was hyped for the game that was going on because it was still in question. We pulled away in the second half and beat the tar out of Aaron Rodgers. But at the end of the first half, it was still a little close. And so he was like hyped up for the game, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. Like, man, it was awesome. So, all right, that's a great tangent to get on. Let's get back to the games at hand. I want to get into, I didn't realize, I must have missed the report. Did you know that Burrow and Chase were going to play that much?
No, I thought they weren't going to play that much.
Yeah. And then you look up, you talk about less than 50% for Danny Dimes, and then Joe Burrow, I believe his first pass was incomplete, and then another ball hit the ground before they took him out, and 2 touchdowns. So he had more touchdowns than incompletions.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase had like in that first quarter, you look up every other time he's thrown it to either the running back or Jamar Chase. Running back, Jamar Chase. You're like, okay, this news, breaking news, the Bengals offense is, going to be
really
good this year. Yeah, like, okay, defense will give up 50 points, and if Joe Burrow can score 51, they'll be good.
Yeah. And for fantasy, we love it.
You will. Yeah. That's so. All right, quick question that just hit me. See, I love having you around because I have these like thoughts that come in, and then boom, you're right here. Jamar Chase or JJ, and give me your thoughts, behind it.
Well, I don't even think it's close right now. It's Chase all the way because JJ's dealing with the hamstring injury. So we got this is something that lingers. This is not going to be good for him just for the season as a whole. It's just the worst timing, like right at the beginning of training camp. So now they're not getting a rapport with the other JJ who's going to be throwing him the ball.
Who is not Joe Burrow. Either, by the way.
Yeah. So we're going on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow having a lot of rapport, a lot of reps together, and it's not even close right now between those guys for me.
Yeah, the injury, I guess I didn't think about. And again, JJ McCarthy is literally not tested at all. He's not battle tested. No. He hasn't thrown an NFL pass yet. So. No.
And Chase, I'm pretty sure, is the unanimous number 1 wide receiver for everybody. And I think that he's a lot of people's unanimous just number 1 overall in a draft.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you saying, so let me ask you this. You're saying like over a Barkley and CMC and
I'm not saying for me personally, because the way that I'd probably build, I probably would build with going a running back first. But I just mean there's a lot of people.
Passes.
Yeah. But I'm just saying there's a lot of people this year specifically that are so much in on Chase that they have him as the number 1 overall.
Yeah. Okay. I last year, he did go number 4 overall in one of my leagues. I do actually, now that you say that, I do remember that. And we were all like on the Zoom call. We're like, oh, I mean, okay. Like for a second, you're like, I don't know about that. But then you're like, well, he is not going to be available for too much longer. And he is a beast. So like, okay, how can you hate on that much? But all right.
Because no matter what, he's going in the first round. So.
Yeah. So if you really want him, you got to gobble him up then. I mean, that's fair. So yeah, the Bengals, it'll be interesting to see if their defense can just be mediocre, the team will be above mediocre. The team will be good.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't win a Super Bowl, but like if the defense can I don't know, hang on for dear life, I just think the offense is really going to cook. So, man, we'll see. The Eagles, I mean, they actually have to fill. I was watching some of the broadcasts, and they were talking about the Eagles do have to fill some spots. They got linebacker, they got DBs, like they have guys on their defense that there are open spots available. And for a Super Bowl team, like it's not normal for them to have so many spots that they have to fill. And so there's some question marks there. I just think their roster overall is too good to take that much of a skid. I mean, a lot of the offensive starters didn't play. Obviously Saquon has the Madden curse. We'll see. Are you into that? The Madden curse, is that a thing for you?
No, it was not anymore. I mean,
Wait,
we've seen
what?
it. We've seen guys like overcome it. It's not
Well,
a every single year like type thing. And it more happened when, I mean, I know he's a workhorse, but also like he still does have one of the best lines in football. So it's a little
yeah,
bit different. Like when I was talking to Ricky Williams and we were talking about his stats one time, he asked what was his average during like his back-to-back years. In the first year where he had the crazy like record, still holds it. It was like 4.2 yards or something. He's like, oh yeah, that year I felt like I was barely being touched. And he was like, what about the next year though? I was like, yeah, it's like 3.2. And he was like, yeah, we had some linemen get injured and it was just, he's like, that one was a rough year. Similar amount of production, but like way less way less on the average. And I'm hoping with him, as long as, because you have to respect Hurts no matter what with the run. And just because of that, you always have a QB spy. So that's like you're pretty much playing 11 on 10, when you think about it. And it makes a difference. And Saquon's that good and their line is that good. So I think that everybody has the same exact chance of getting hurt, but the better your line is, the percentages are more in your favor.
Yeah, we were talking about Gore. His career had a nice little kind of peak when Kaepernick was that dual option.
Yeah,
because Frank wasn't seeing the exact front on defense that he was, and he had some pep in his step. Then he's like, "Oh, this is kind of nice." So yeah, I totally get that. But it's just interesting that the Eagles have that many question marks coming off of a Super Bowl win. That makes me happy because I don't know how you feel about the Eagles, but I cannot stand them. Just the fans and just you can't go to a game there. You just can't. Like it's well documented. Like other players' wives, like they don't go. Like it's just bad.
Now that I don't have any like affiliations with any teams, I don't like. It's more fun to make fun of the fans who are like, the Cowboy fans who are just, it's our year, it's our year again.
Yeah, they're America's team every year, and they haven't won a.
It's more fun to make fun of those because I feel like it's always those fans that are either like just so blind to it, like they kind of like do it to themselves as far as like whatever jokes get made, about the fan base. I feel like a lot of the Eagles, if you're not in Philly, like the Eagles fans that I know, like they don't really talk a lot of, they don't really talk a lot of shit. Yeah, they probably don't have to. Like had to for a lot of years, I'm sure, but now they kind of don't have to like defend themselves at all.
Right. We're gonna have my buddy B Davis on the show here eventually, big Eagles fan, and it's like he don't have to say much. He did, 5 years ago he was rapping, but now he's just kind of puffing his chest out and really not saying much. Saying happy birthday to Jalen Hurts. It was like a couple days ago his birthday or something. Like I'm like, man, come on, B. Like, but yeah, I totally get that. There's certain fan bases that you actually root for. Like I root for Detroit. I root for Washington. They've been through so much with bad ownership and then a name change and like things like that. And Detroit with just like kind of being cursed. So we'll talk of another curse here in a second. Let's get to the last game. This was built up for a regular season game because you got Pete Carroll going back to Seattle while coaching, and you had, did you see beast mode in the crowd was one of the sideline picture takers, like Randy Johnson with the old major league pitcher. He's like and Ken Griffey Jr. I think is like a legit professional camera guy now.
Yeah.
And there's Marshawn Lynch playing, and Marshawn, as we know, played for both teams.
Yep.
Finished out with the Raiders. So like Raiders Seahawks was like kind of a weird thing. And Gino, and we were talking before the show. I was like, oh, both starters played, and you're like, no, Sam Darnold wasn't out there. I'm like, bro, I forgot that the Seahawks had Sam Darnold. So I see Drew Lock out there throwing interceptions. I'm like, oh, yep, same old Drew Lock. And you're like, well, he's the backup. I was like, oh, dude, I totally forgot. Sam Darnold, what's his trajectory? Let's talk Sam Darnold for a little bit. Are you high on him this year?
So I'm not high on him necessarily, but like in a single quarterback league, someone who I might get as a later backup, potentially if,
for sure,
if maybe like a Tua goes in front of him, or who else? Well, in a 3 QB league, getting him, or in a 2 QB league, like Superflex, getting him as like a third quarterback where he's like a bench quarterback. Like that's kind of how I think of him. He's maybe like, he's a bottom 8 quarterback probably, so like a bottom 25% guy. But he's probably at like the higher end, of that. And they do have JSN. They got a decent running game, and I mean, their defense.
And Gary Kubiak's son.
Yeah.
running it.
Yeah.
Running the offense, right?
For sure. Yeah.
It's not terrible. I mean, there's worse guys you can have run your offense.
And if like everything is what we think it's supposed to be, everything's going to be predicated off the run and a lot of play actions, and I mean, if they're successful with that and getting the run game going, I mean, could be a lot of play actions for JSN. And as long as Darnold has one good target and JSN's a good target, I feel like he'll be okay.
Yeah, the Seahawks are an interesting bunch. Like, it's hard to say, are they trending down? Are they trending up? Or are they just kind of staying level? It's definitely hard to say. I obviously hate them because I'm a Niners guy, but just trying to be, even keel about it. I'm not one of those Niner fans that's just like, oh, my team's going to win every game and the teams in my division are going to lose every game. Like, there's people that do that, but Seattle's just interesting to see what they do. So we were talking about a curse, and let's get into some news and notes and injuries. We talked about Anthony Richardson, and we talked about it for about 5 minutes, the different curses of the Chargers. And sure enough, like, dude, Rashawn Slater, this dude was going to be the man for them. I mean, every
contract.
Yeah, like gets paid like the left tackle of an NFL team. You're like the guy, and just out for the year. Something patella, right? Like, oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah,
like, dude, I don't. Ugh.
It's gonna be like a year recovery time. Like, it's not gonna be good.
Oh God, yeah. And then also Verse from the Rams. I'm very excited about this news. Like, I don't wish any ill will.
Yeah.
but like that dude scares me. That dude, that was a great draft pick by the Rams. I hate to admit that, but good Lord, that guy's good. And he's kind of day to day. He knocked knees, I guess. So this is that time where like some of these injuries, you're not sure, day to day. I think it's funny with Anthony Richardson because it almost helps him. Like, buddy, just go sit down, buddy.
Yeah, take the pressure off.
Just like now you can just blame it on the injury. Remember last year when he tapped out? Only NFL quarterback in the history of football to take himself out of a game.
Yeah, you just can't do that. Call a timeout or something. Like, I mean,
it's just a bad look. It's so bad.
But so I mean, I've never said that I was like Miss Cleo or could predict the future or anything, but all I did say was the Chargers were cursed. You can go back and watch last week's episode, and I was very vocal about that. Like, it's not Herbert's fault. It's not Harbaugh's fault. But like, see, look at this. Like, just we didn't even get one preseason game in, and they're not going to have their entire starting 5 offensive lineup this entire year.
Yeah, all ready to start. And Harbaugh's big on the run and big on, offensive line, and that's definitely a gut punch. Gonna be bad. And yes,
It's
you're right.
Spano's fault. Like, when he sells the team, maybe the curse will leave with him. But until he sells the team, it's cursed.
No bueno. So another thing that I wanted to get into, because it feels like it's been a full 7 days, but it has not been a full 7 days since Micah Parsons explained and got into actual detail. And I believe that that's what happened, because I believe that Jerry Jones tries to do this with Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. I think he's been doing it with Tony Romo. I think he's done it with probably 15 guys before, where he's trying to be sneaky. And he's an established businessman. He was an established businessman before he even thought about owning the Cowboys. Whereas these guys that he's having these interactions with, they're in their 20s. They don't know business. They're trying. And so Micah Parsons does not know, he barely knows how to run his podcast, let alone running business, bro. Like, so he tried to do the smart thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have movies like Straight Outta Compton that showcase the Jerry Kellers of the world. I gotta expect something like this out of Donald Sterling. And I'm not saying I don't expect it out of Jerry Jones, but like, guys are smarter now. They pay a lot of money to their agents who are fucking usually Harvard or Yale educated fucking lawyers.
Them, do not engage. And now the problem is that the 0.001% of me that is on the side of Jerry Jones, that is way less than 1%. If he made eye contact and shook his hand, Micah should not have done that. He should have known better. Like, hey, that sounds good, Jerry, but no. I don't know about all this. I'll get my guy. But if he said, okay, that sounds good, we'll figure it out later, and shook his hand, there is less than 1% of me that is like, Jerry has a point. Less than 1%. Like, bro,
there's no handshake deals there's no handshake deals when we're talking about this amount of money.
Yeah, come on, dude. Like we're cool and all, but if this podcast blew up to where we were truly making over 6 figures, and just on this podcast I was like, hey dude, we'll figure something out, I'll throw you a little bit of cash, you'd be like, well, hold on, dude, let's talk off camera and let's really talk, right? You wouldn't just be like, and that's something small, like
as anybody would. You want it,
dude.
As much as these guys could get hurt at any fucking practice, let alone any game. They could get hurt at any time. They want to make sure that their shit's secure, which the players are the product. Do we need the owners to pay all the salaries and all that? And do some owners make more than others? Like, yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of people who would love to be in this position. I'm sure there's billionaires and 100-millionaire people who would love to be in this position. So I'm always just going to side with the players. Do the players get stupid sometimes? I'm sure they do. But the players are there to play. The agents are there, the one to play hardball and negotiate and get the fucking deals done. So, like, I wouldn't expect anything less from these guys, especially in football. When, like, one injury, you're never getting a contract again.
It's outy. Yeah. I don't understand how Jerry thinks that he's going to come out smelling like a rose on this one when you're taking advantage of a 20-year-old kid. Like, at our age, anyone in their 20s is a kid. Like, it just, like, you just have not lived enough life. Like, anything up to 18 is not enough. And you're telling me you're only 10 years at most older than being 18? That's not enough. Like, and especially athletes, because they have an even warped way of looking at the world because they have all this money thrown in front of them. But that's why these agents are, I was going to say that's why these agents are good at their job. Some are not, but they're money hungry, which is not wrong. They're still doing right by their client, you would think. And I would be furious if I was Micah Parsons' agent and he came back and told me, yeah, me and Jerry were talking about a deal. You were what?
Yeah.
You were what? Like, no, dude, you got to tell him. I'll call him. It's just a bad look from the Cowboys. I mean,
you know what I don't like though? This is actually like, if you think about it, like Jerry is kind of like a creative genius and a devil at the same time, because
we're talking about him.
Exactly. All press is good press, right? It doesn't matter them. If the
America's
Cowboys
team
are being talked about,
America's
they're
team.
being talked about. And this is the cheapest way that they get marketing. All I got to do is not pay my guy, and they're going to talk about us.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about. Well, look, we're not buying jerseys. We're not buying. Like, we think you're a clown, Jerry. That's not like we're not putting money into your pocket by us thinking you're a clown. That doesn't help you, Jerry. Like, you can think it does, but I'm not spending money anything with Dallas. I mean, I don't even think I'd want to go to a game for that reason, even if my team was playing, unless it was in the Super Bowl, like if they get the Super Bowl and stuff and the Niners go. Other than that, I don't want to give Jerry any money. I don't want the satisfaction. I'm like that Karen who sees there's a show on Netflix that goes against their values, so she cancels Netflix, the entire Netflix, just because of one show. Like, that's me. That's me. I'm a Karen with Jerry Jones, bro. Like, no, not one penny will go to him if on my watch. I'm bad. So, all right, speaking of bad, let's move on to a couple wacky things, because I don't even think you're going to believe this, bro, but this is so I even had to get to ChatGPT and load it in and load the story in there and drill holes in it and say, is this real? And it came back like all these things like, no, it is real that Smoothie King signed a deal with Heinz Ketchup. They should have signed a deal with Heinz Ward. That would have made more sense. But there's a ketchup flavored smoothie. Am I crazy, or are you out on that? I mean, I like ketchup on like my hot dog and like
like
French
why couldn't it be like ketchup and fries or something like that? And like I don't know. They couldn't. Who in their right mind, other than like if you're trying to prank somebody, like is going to buy
it's not
a ketchup flavored smoothie?
So we are less than 72 hours in on this brand new flavor, and I am not excited to try it. I'm excited to make fun of it. I am not going, and I'm down with Smoothie King, but hello strawberry is what I'm into. Something normal, but ketchup flavored, like, even like, I guess, you know what, people who like V8 would maybe try it, and I never got into V8. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know any vampires. I know the vampires drink that Clamato juice, but like, I mean, just I don't know.
It's not my thing, right?
Those guys even exist anymore.
So if we could freeze frame our faces during that 2 minutes, and let's keep them going, because there's another one, and this is legit too, and I still can't believe that it blows my mind even more than ketchup, because this is available for purchase, and it's breast milk ice cream. And this came out even 24 hours before the ketchup did. And so it's available for purchase nationwide. And it's from the company Frida. And it's renowned for its baby products. And it's teamed up with small batch ice cream maker Oddfellows to introduce a unique ice cream flavor. Unique? Is that the word they're going to go with?
I used to work at a grocery store and be right behind the check stand. If somebody brought up breast milk flavored ice cream, I would be judging that person.
And you
would
make up a price check. They'd be like, sir, the price is right here. Oh, I don't see it. Price check on, and you'd like announce it to everyone, right?
Oh man, like, what is going on?
Can you imagine?
Now, who's gonna be the real savage and like throw a scoop of the ice cream into the ketchup flavored smoothie?
I knew you were going there. At some point, you're like, oh, you're like Buddy the Elf, where he's just like putting everything. I saw on that, like, behind the scenes, like, he really did take a couple bites of that. Like, that's
Yeah.
real. With,
Yeah.
like, spaghetti and pancakes and ketchup and, like, I don't know, a corn dog. I don't know what was all in there. But, like,
Yeah.
he was like, he really did take a couple. Oh, God. That's worse than the suicide. Remember you go to Taco Bell and just go hit the button for all the drinks?
Yeah.
That was bad, but I mean, it was all sugary soda at the end of the day. It was still the same thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And we all lied and said it tastes good.
Yeah.
Our parents would be like, why are you doing that, son? I'm like, no, it's good. And I'm like, well, okay, it wasn't good. I'll tell you now that I'm 44. It wasn't good.
Yeah, and then you go pour it out and just go get whatever flavor you really want.
Just go get Baja Blast and call it a day. But yeah, these flavors, it even said there was a subheading that said, like, it tastes familiar. I'm like, ew, are you trying to hint that we remember what what breast milk tastes like?
Yeah,
It's oddly familiar. Like, what?
How's the compare and contrast taste, done? Like initially.
Yeah, that's like, it tastes like gasoline. How do you know what gasoline tastes like? Like, you just drink gasoline? Like,
Yeah.
I know what it smells like, but yeah, that is so wild. It is wild if you do not follow Alex. Tell us about the 420 crew, right? And what you got going.
Yeah, so Patreon, that's where we are. 420crew.com is where you sign up. Patreon, it's a social media app like everywhere else, except it's behind a paywall, but you can sign up for free. So if you want to follow and get news or get into leagues that we're in, you can follow for free. But I'd recommend signing up as a paid member. There's a whole bunch of different articles in there that I've wrote for 2025 draft preparation, like your strength of schedules. I put down the strength of schedule for every single position. It's got like the top 5, who's got the top 5 best schedule, who's got the bottom 5 worst schedule, who's got the
Awesome.
top 5 first 5 games, best 5 games, worst start 5 games, best playoff schedules, all that. There's all these different little things that you're going to want to do for research just to get yourself ready. Because I know everyone's going to start drafting here. If you haven't drafted yet, I know it's going to be from August 24th, pretty much to the start of the season. That's like the huge 2 weeks of drafting.
Oh yeah. So I usually tell me your take on this. So what I do when drafting is it's always and it's usually a much better game than the freaking Cowboys versus Eagles. I don't know what Jerry did to get that game, speaking of clown. But it's that Thursday game always opens the season, right? And it's usually like the previous Super Bowl matchup or something. Again, I don't know how the Cowboys got in there. But
Super Bowl winner's always in, but then it's someone else. Yeah,
but it's usually a better matchup.
Yeah. Yeah.
A team that made the playoffs is, I mean, good Lord. So you have that game on Thursday. And so that Sunday, like around 5 p.m., that's when I like to do the draft, because from right now, August 8th, Friday, August 8th, until that Sunday, there's going to be the over under is 9. Over under 9 major injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to draft on Friday, August 8th, because there's going to be significant, like, look, I don't want to speak this into existence, but we talked about Jamar Chase. What if he pulls a hammy? Which, first of all, if he does, I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
Like, yeah, let's pick a different name as an example next time.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson. Oh, that is awesome. We should have a show where all we do is bring up obscure names, like past and present. Like, I'll go first. JJ Stokes. Like, it's just like random NFL names who didn't, like, they weren't trash, but like, dude, they were never good. Like, JJ Stokes was like the ultimate, like, out of UCLA, he was supposed to be the Niners guy. And he never had more than like 600 yards, never more than 60 catches. Like, Like he
Yeah.
was just not the guy. But you said my dude said Van Jefferson.
Yeah, if
So
we
all
curse
right, we'll
him,
go
that's
with
fine.
that. Yeah. Or I got a good one for you. On a double level, it's the Chargers, and I saw on Facebook you're like, he sucks. Keenan Allen.
Oh yeah, what a bum. What a bum.
I feel like he's scorned you before in a league. Is that
No,
like
but so
just
in 2014, 2013, I'd gotten in trouble and I'd went to court and I knew I was going to go on house arrest in somewhere in March or in May, somewhere like that. So I was like, man, we got to do something. We got to live it up for these like next couple months. And so we went out to Denver for that Chargers playoff game. They made it past round 1 and they go into round 2 going against Peyton Manning, and they just legalized weed in Colorado. So it was like just a cool little experience.
Wow, yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah.
And so I met
Okay.
Keenan Allen. I got him to like sign the jersey that I was wearing, and I asked him for a picture, and I just remember he was like, "Oh man," and like, reaction like that. And then whoever was there, probably he was hanging out with like the 3rd or 4th string DBs or something. Like they were like talking shit, and like I didn't say anything, but man, I mean they're clowns, man. Like, dude, Keenan was a rookie. Then I don't know who the fuck those other guys were, but like I was actually from San Diego. Like I wasn't from fucking Denver, and they're like gonna like make me feel some type of way for like trying to get a picture with Keenan.
Yeah.
He was a bitch for that.
Yeah. No, okay. Well, all I know is that there was something. Either in real life or in the fantasy world, he did something.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
And I don't disagree. His best year, I happen to have him, and time after time, he won some games for me. But other than then of course, you'd make the mistake of trying to get the guy every time, and then it's like then it bites you.
I'm super fluky with the injuries. So that's just another thing. I mean, he's old, man. He's old.
Yeah. It is weird that the Chargers have him. I did not see that coming, but they're cursed, so it doesn't matter. So the last thing I want to talk about is a curse for this year, shifting to baseball, because I have a crazy stat for you. So the Colorado Rockies, we have joked on this show a lot of times of how funny it's been because of how bad they are. Like it's just they're on pace to win less than 45 games. And you may not know this. I know you're not a big baseball guy. Do you know how many baseball games they play in a year?
Yeah,
you even know?
162.
Okay. So they're on pace to win 45 games.
Is that going to be lower than the White Sox?
Yes. They are on pace to
well, I
do
mean, like when
worse.
the White Sox got that record for like, didn't they get the record for like?
That was just last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna break that record. The Rockies are. That's what I'm telling you, dude. But that's not the record I'm talking about. So earlier this week, the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are doing really well this year. So I mean, I get it, but they have a record 63 hits in a 3-game series. I'm gonna say that one more time. They had 63 hits against the Rockies, and they scored 45 runs. They outscored the Rockies in their series, a 3-game series, of 45-6. 45-6 in 27 innings. In 27 innings, dude, that doesn't make sense.
Now I know Coors Field is pretty much a launching pad for like home runs and everything.
But
how come
the Rockies couldn't hit? Yeah.
How come they've never tried to get any pitchers like ever? They're just really bad at drafting pitchers. I mean, besides you, Baldo, that's the only guy that I could think of who is like good over there in the whatever recent years.
Yeah, I don't know what they have going over there, but just that's unbelievable. They were on a pace where they've like won a couple series in a row. They won some games where to the point where like we couldn't make fun of them as much, and then they come through for me. and give up 45-6.
Did you
in
look
27
in,
innings, dude?
Did you look in closer? Because I mean, even if you average that out, that's still over 20 hits a game. Like, what was the high hit total for one of those 3 games?
27.
Woo!
Yeah, and 20 runs scored in one of the games.
Damn,
20.
like that, man. Like if you're in a slump or you're trying to raise your average, that's the game to do it.
Well, yeah, Vlad Guerrero, his son, Junior, went like 4 for 4 with 2 home runs in that game, and like, yep, that's the way to like.
And then they
if
just
you're in
sit
a
down,
slump,
like, hey, just take the rest of the day off. We got to get some other people some at bats.
Yeah, like at that point, you're like, what? So that is your Colorado Rockies, ladies and gentlemen, 45-6 in 27 innings. That is just one of those weird stats. I mean, there's like 10 stats like that you can think of in the world that you're like, wait, how did 2 teams, they both train, they both lift weights, they both put on their hat, they both put on their socks, they both have managers that write lineups, and then they go out and compete, and that's what you get from 27 innings of baseball? Like, I can't
know
fathom
that they get paid just like everybody else, but I don't know. If you're on a team that's like pacing to win like 40 games throughout the whole like year, like I would just assume morale is not high, like in that locker room. Like, I mean, they got to do something to like get these guys, I don't know.
Well, I remember a story like 3-4 years ago, Boston, they took away the beer and chicken in the clubhouse, and everyone was like pissed. Like, I don't know if you need to give them beer and chicken or take it away. I don't know. If I was going to only win 40 games and you took away my beer and chicken, I don't know what, like, well, what do I have to live for? Like, kill myself like at that point. So maybe give them the beer and chicken for morale, because you said it's low. I mean, I really don't know what else to do. Oh, wait, can't they just smoke?
I mean, now you should be able to, right? I mean, maybe that's just the fuck it, like, it's like fuck this stupid game.
I wonder who would win, the Savannah Bananas or the Colorado Rockies at this point. The Rockies don't have anyone on stilts.
Would it be in Colorado, though?
Oh, launching pad.
They might drop a couple bombs if it's out there.
Just wild, man. Reminder, guys, follow Sports Edit Nation wherever you get your social media. Remember, this was our first Friday episode. It obviously went haywire, which is to be expected. This was awesome. I almost get like those headache laughs, from laughing. You start to get like a headache. Like, I'm almost there. Like, this is awesome. I love it. Our first Friday episode. Remember, so now for season 2, episodes are coming at you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Follow Alex. Remember, the link is right here for you to click it. One-stop shop for fantasy football. If you follow Alex, you don't need to follow anyone else. He has everything for you, and he will join us many, many times this year on Sports Idiot Nation, which means we will see you Monday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.